What up, Cowboy fans and YouTubers? It's that VA Dallas Cowboy fan coming back at you. I know it's been a while, but there hasn't exactly been much positivity to talk about for the Cowboys. I mean, they finished their rookie week meeting, and everybody's off until training camp. I mean, there's been, spots where people have talked about how good Zeke looks and stuff like that. But in the long run, it's been mostly negative stuff coming out of other teams in the NFL. You got the new COVID protocols that one Cole Beasley, former Dallas Cowboy, has been complaining about all online. And I just didn't want to talk about none of that. There's been speculation of Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch's trade values and stuff like that. And it's like, nah, I didn't want to bring that to you. You can catch that on other YouTube channels. We want to talk about some meatier things. Something that can fully impact the team. Like Garrett Gilbert, who is going to probably go into the season as our presumptive QB number 2. I did a little look up on him last night, and I was surprised at some of the stuff I saw. I, for one, didn't know these things about his past because, didn't really think he'd stay on with the team because most of the times, Jerry and them, they see guys and then they'll only last a season and then they'll get rid of them. So I didn't think, they were going to actually keep Gilbert if they were going to get a more veteran presence behind Dak, but that seems to not be the case as they're not really actively looking for any other help right now, and they're just going to run with what they got. But in looking at GG, first thing I thought about was that the Hall of Fame game, if he's going to be starting over Dak, DiNucci, and Rush, is the fact that Garrett Gilbert has a little shot at revenge in his mind. Because if you remember, the Steeler game was the one that he almost brought us back to win last season, where the Cowboys inevitably tried to screw him up and do all these stupid plays like they did to DiNucci the week before in Philadelphia. Like, he tried his best. He had one touchdown and one interception. That interception was bupkis because Amari Cooper was tackled before the ball got to him. So that was pretty much pass interference that they did not call in the end zone. That would have put us in position to win that game. But as unfair as the NFL is to us, that's how the cookie crumbled. A lot of us will say we were crying and that's bull and don't blame the refs, but come on. If you look at these games, come on. Don't say the refs don't have any kind of sway in the outcome. But anyway, Garrett has a little shot at revenge, against the team that he almost beat during their unbeaten streak. And I know that'd be an incentive for me that I'd have another shot against the team that would have made me probably the starter for as long as Andy Dalton was out. And possibly even the rest of the season if he'd have won that game. You never know. But that's the first thing that came to mind. So I said, let me do a little digging on GG and see what's up. I myself did not know that he is a Super Bowl champion. He was actually on the New England Patriots when they won Super Bowl 49 against the Seahawks. He was on that team. And nobody really thinks about that. Like, he has an actual Super Bowl ring. As much as, Carson Wentz has a Super Bowl ring, but he has one inevitably. After that, he actually worked out for Dallas in 2017. We could have had Gigi back then in 2017. And due to the old coaching regime that was here, nothing came of it, And as soon as we turned him down, he went and signed with the Carolina Panthers, who head coach is now his division rival at Washington. And get this, he actually lost the backup quarterback duties to Tyler Heineke, to now possibly back up in Washington. And not only that, he actually, once he got cut in training camp that next year after losing to Heineke, they re-signed him, and he actually backed up Kyle Allen, who is in Washington. So Garrett Gilbert has a history with the Cowboys in the NFC East currently, long before he even came on this team. After that, he was let go by Carolina. He was picked up in 2019 by the Cleveland Browns. And not only that, he was actually on the squad at the time when Cleveland beat us last season. That's how our scouts got a good look at him, I guess, in the lead up to that game, and saw some potential in him. So he knows what it's like for us to get our butts handed to us on one side of the coin. And that's amazing. And then he was put on the COVID list in 2020 as well. But that was, something he didn't have to worry about because he was a practice squad guy at the time. But after that, Dallas picked him up, and he was on our roster for about a month, backing up Andy Dalton before Dalton had to go down with his COVID problems and the injury. And the rest is history. Came in, played a pretty good game against Pittsburgh. Could have been better, but that could have been said about our defense as well. And this is our QB number 2, who's had a heck of a history that I didn't know about. With all that said, if Dak is not getting the starter reps, I want to see what Garrett Gilbert could do. And you can look back at my videos back then after that Pittsburgh game where I said, give Ben DiNucci a shot. Give Garrett Gilbert a shot. We already know what Andy Dalton can do. And you saw he didn't really do much. But think about it. If those guys actually had a little more experience, we wouldn't probably be talking about quarterback backup duties right now. Because we'd already known and saw last season that, hey, maybe these guys are kind of good. I mean, we already know what Cooper Rush can do because he's backed up Dak for a couple of seasons there before he got cut, went to the Giants, and then came back. He's like the forgotten man we don't even talk about on the quarterback depth chart. So it's going to be real curious to see come training camp what our backup quarterback situation is going to be. Who's going to get the starter reps when Dak's not taking them all? Now, who's going to play most of these preseason games? Because Dak's not going to be the guy doing all the work. I'm very curious to see. But that's a little extra dive into Garrett Gilbert, Dallas Cowboy, backup QB number 2 on the depth chart, I do believe, right now. So that's just something else to look forward to in a month when we finally get to Oxnard and training camp. And you fans who get to go out there, have a little extra fun for me. Because I really wish I could go. There's a lot of stuff I wish I could do because the pandemic was still ongoing. So, I wasn't really thinking training camp or the Hall of Fame game this year. But if we can get back to normal, then yeah. I'm trying to get my way out to AT&T Stadium in the next couple years, seasons, and come enjoy with you guys. But until my next video, that's all I got to say about that right now. Stay safe, be well, have a good, enjoyable weekend. Until next time, this is VA Dallas Cowboy fan, out.